Hey my sweet friends, this is Moz, and this is my very first video ever. As you can see, I have no subscribers at all, not even a single one. And in this video, I'm gonna state a fact and expose hard truths that might be disturbing, but actually it's a very important fact that we all really need to be aware of so we can handle and deal with it. And this fact is that there is no such thing as romance. Yes, there is nothing called romance. And actually, romance is nothing but a virus. You can say that it's a biological virus, but I can say it clearly. It's a way destructive and way dangerous than any other virus. So the virus romance is way dangerous than any other virus. And also, what's so-called romantic love is nothing but an illness. And let me tell you something personal. I grew up differently because my father was 60 when I was born. And that made me growing up in different and unique circumstances that left me isolated for like the vast majority of my life. Since my very early childhood, I was alone, no friends, no outings. I would just go to school and then return again to my solitude, uh, while everyone else, including my cousins, going out enjoying uh, their normal social life. But me alone in my room, having nothing to do but study, think, and contemplate. Yes, I was contemplating all the time. And since I was deprived of such a normal social life, I became completely obsessed with the concept of happiness and quality of life. So I spent so long time, actually years, reflecting on exactly what reasons, what factors that can make our lives happier, that can improve our quality of life, and also the factor that can diminish or distort our quality of life. So I classified and categorized those factors. To my surprise, that I found that romantic love sits at the very top of the list of the factor that can destroy and distort our quality of life. You know, one would wonder, how is that possible since love universally seen as a cheerful, positive, and pleasant feeling? I say that I hear you because we all have been told and loaded and bombarded with those lies and messes through media, movies, fairy tales, and even the society until we were programmed to believe those lies and messes. But the truth is that what so-called romantic love has never been a cheerful, has never been a positive feeling. And unlike the feelings and the love that we have for our families, our pets, our friends, our even country, the patriotic love, and our spouse, when the marriage was the result of true mutual understanding and kinship and, well tested bond. Uh, those are deeply positive and motivating feelings. But on the other hand, if we just any one of you try to recall a period when they were in a romantic love, they would find that there was nothing, there was nothing positive or even cheerful during this period. And for example, if you are already having a grueling, super busy work week, filled with obstacles and troubles, situations that you don't like to face, but you know that on the weekend you are going to meet your close friends, you are going to the family gathering, you are going to hug and feed your pet. that gives you the resilience, so that makes you able to endure and tolerate it all. Then, so that's why. But if we just thought about what's so-called romantic love, it adds nothing to our life but negativity, negativity, negativity all the time, negativity, jealousy, more concerns, more troubles, um, competing, anxiety, nothing, which all of which are super negative and uh, destructive feelings. That's why I became convinced that what so-called romantic love can never be love and should never fall under the umbrella of that term. Then later, I found out that what so-called romantic love, let me say romantic love, um, possesses not a single quality or attribute that resemble true love, and that has made me completely convinced and certain that that can never be love, and also romance is nothing but a virus. But there is such a catastrophic point related to the romance like virus. I'm gonna explain it. That when we catch whatever virus, COVID for example, or any other virus, we are fully aware that we are infected and sick. So we start in no time immediately to we start the treatment. But when we catch the romance virus, we mistakenly believe that we are going through such a wonderful and blessed experience, but actually we are nothing but patients that need the medication and treatment. And I remember the one who said love is in the air. Actually, he was absolutely right. And because romance is nothing but a virus that we can bake it up through handshaking or any other touches, or also we can catch it through air. And he was absolutely right. And also, you know what? I need to say that the catastrophic point related to this virus, which is romance virus, is that we have never been told, that romance is a virus. And that's why when we catch the romance virus, we mistakenly believe that we are going through a wonderful experience. We have never been told that romance is a virus and there is nothing uh, called romance, and it's simply just a biological trick. And when you are going through what's so-called romantic love, you are biologically hijacked and nothing more, and you need the treatment, which is a catastrophic point that we have no idea. What you feel is real, but what you think it means is completely wrong. And you know what? I said that romance is such a destructive and super dangerous virus. I tell you why. Because the romance virus can easily destroy the whole precious life of people. Like, if you just when you are under the spell of this virus, you can do issues, and like I know, and when the madness vanishes, you find yourself facing issues that you have no idea how that happened. Like I know, if you, I don't know how to say it, like physical intimacy or something like that, that's gonna put you into huge troubles, although you have did nothing actually, and you were just under the spell of this virus. And that's why I am here in this video to invite you all, which is actually a heartfelt plea, or let me say it's a call to action to stop using the term romance and um, be aware enough that there is nothing called romance, and tell everybody that there is nothing called romance, and romance is nothing but a fatal and destructive virus. And I really, I really, I beg you to be, vigilant and cautious and aware enough and not to fall for such a biological trick that might put you into so many troubles and even destroy your whole precious life. Um, Up to this point, all my findings, all my convictions, all my views was purely based on my very own um, contemplating my very own introspection. Um, However, recently, actually, last December, I found that there are huge minds have argued my same point, my same views, and that made me really happy. Not because that I reached the same destination on my own, or even not that I am thinking the same way with such big minds. No, I became super happy because now all my views, all my findings are no more such opinions, and all now are, and they are all validated right now. Um, and those huge minds include philosophers, neuroscientists. Let me break it down. Firstly, we find Plato. Plato, the great Greek philosopher, who, in his dialogue Phaedrus, um, referred to romantic love as a divine madness, and he believed that romance is taking humans out of their rational minds. Then we find um, Arthur Schopenhauer. Arthur Schopenhauer, uh, the pessimist philosopher, who actually described uh, romance as a trick of nature, and he believed that romance and the will to live makes people temporarily insane through love to ensure reproduction, which is recreation and species survival. Then we find uh, Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis, who actually um, described uh, being in a romantic love as a state of temporary psychosis. Then we find Friedrich Nietzsche. Friedrich Nietzsche, who already described the romantic love and romance as a state of intoxication that distorts people's perception of reality. Then we find Dr. Helen Fisher, which is a prominent biological anthropologist. She's a modern scientist, studies brains, and she scanned so many brains of people in romantic love. And her brain scans show that their brains look exactly like those of addicts. So they are exactly like those of addicts and people with OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder. Then we find the psychologist Dr. Dorothy Tennov. She actually coined the term Limerence in 1979 to describe the romantic love, and she defined it as an involuntary state of intense obsession, intrusive thoughts about the partner, and emotionally dependency that feels exactly like a temporary mental illness. Then, as for neuroscientists, we find the prominent and very famous Professor Dr. Samer Zeki and Professor Dr. the German Professor Dr. Andreas Bartels, who collaborated on a groundbreaking study titled The Neural Basis of Romantic Love, and that was in 2000, the years 2000. And this study, this groundbreaking study, found that in very short, that the brains of people in romantic love have their cerebral cortex, prefrontal cortex, completely deactivated, which and prefrontal cortex is a part of the brain that's responsible for critical judgment and assessment and logic as well. And also, the study found that the center of or the point of logic is completely inactive, and also the amygdala, which is the fear center of the brain, is completely deactivated, and that explains why you will always find lovers acting like, foolishly with no logic, and also you will find them ready to take so many uncalculated risks, uh, because they have nothing to fear, and also you find them having an absolute trust in their partner because they have nothing to fear. Everything is actually deactivated. And also, I forget to say that even the playwright William Shakespeare has said it clearly in his play As You Like It. As You Like It, he said that romance is merely a madness, and also he throughout all his plays he portrayed people in love, or portrayed lovers as individuals with mental illness acting foolishly and with no logic. Let's back to the neuroscientists. Uh, Both of them, Dr. Semerzaki and Professor Dr. Semerzaki and Professor Dr. Andres Bartels, uh, along some other neuroscientists, agreed that the romance is nothing but a trick, a biological trick, just to ensure reproduction, species survival, procreation. But let me say here something that while I acknowledge their claim that romance is nothing but trick, but I find myself unable, really completely unable to go align, to fully align with their conclusion. And I believe that this conclusion has a huge fundamental gap in its logic, that it challenges their evolutionary argument completely. This conclusion actually made me disappointed because the scientists completely ignored and overlooked so many factors. And one of them is a crucial fact, which is people of same gender orientation, I mean, same gender couples, are already experiencing the same virus, which is romance, and the same disease, which is romantic love, while the solely purpose they stipulated or proposed is completely irrelevant in this case and completely absent in this case. And that made me and led me to go back to my own introspection, inner logic, until I found an explanation that made me feel like now I am seeing the complete image, and I felt satisfied. Yes, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professor, I'm not a philosopher or neuroscientist, but at least the explanations that I got on my own made me satisfied, feeling like exactly I'm seeing the complete image right now after this explanation, after my own explanation. But actually, their explanation made me disappointed. How come to completely overlook such crucial facts? Anyway, as I said, I'm not a professor, I'm not a philosopher or neuroscientist, but at least, and the explanations that I found is mine, but at least it seems it makes sense to me, and it made me satisfied. And I feel better right now. The scientists made me disappointed. And really, I tried so many times to find any further explanation, uh, any further explanation for them, but from them, but I couldn't find. And I hope that's only me that I couldn't find their further explanation. But to be honest, I know that the high never said nothing more and completely overlooked so many crucial facts. And I'm not gonna talk in this video about my own explanations that made me satisfied regarding the crucial fact that I said. But I can make another video to talk about my own explanation. But if I find that anyone of you, my friends, would like to hear my own explanation, now I beg you. I'm done with my video, and I beg you to stop using the term romance and be aware enough and be cautious enough that there is nothing called romance, and please don't fall and don't allow yourself to fall for such a biological trick. Thank you so much for watching me, and I really hope that you liked my video, and I really wish that you become my friends, my real friends, as you know I don't have. And if you really liked my video, so please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. I love you.